Hi, you are listening to Field of Transformation, a space where we explore the subconscious, integration, and authenticity. I'm Lana Bugela, the creator of Method of Three Eyes and an expert in subconscious transformation.
Hi, I'm Oleksandr Bugela. I'm film director and Lana's partner. We've been together for 11 years, I think even more. And every day we learn not only how to create a new reality, but also how to leave the past where it belongs, behind it.
Behind us.
Yeah, behind us.
Okay, this is our first episode, and we'll explore why it's so hard to let go of the past, how it shapes your present, and what you can do to rewrite that script. So let's dive in. So, the past is like an anchor. You want to move forward, but something keeps pulling you back. I'm sure everybody has that experience. And that something is your subconscious, the limiting beliefs, unresolved emotions, and unhealed traumas. Why does this happen? Because your subconscious mind is designed to protect you. It clings to what's familiar, even if that familiarity hurts.
It's like a character in a movie stuck in a repeating scene. The same story plays over and over until they rewrite the script. For example, movies Groundhog Day or Age of Tomorrow. The main character lives the same day over and over again until he understands that he cannot reach tomorrow until he change his approach to present day.
Yeah, they're like suffering there and you like watching and waiting. Oh, he will manage this time, but nothing happens. And it doesn't happen because he doesn't change himself.
Yeah, because he just reads the same story but with different I don't know volume or speed instead of rewrite the story. But rewriting it means understanding what's anchoring them to the scene in the first place.
Exactly. And these scenes are your subconscious hooks. For example, a belief like, I'm not worthy, or I have to suffer to earn love. Today, we'll talk about how to identify these hooks and release their emotional grip. Okay, let me share a story from my practice. One of my clients, let's call him Andrew, he spent his whole life trying to prove his worth through achievements. And this is such a common story, especially in the US. But every time he reached a new milestone, he felt empty inside, of course. During our work, we uncovered the root cause, a childhood trauma where he never received his father's approval. So it was always not enough. And his belief was, I must be perfect to be noticed. So once we integrated this experience, he finally allowed himself to just be without chasing an idealized image.
It's fascinating because movies often depict exact pattern. A hero seeks external accomplishment to fill an internal void. But the real plot twist happens when they realize they've been looking for a wrong place in the wrong place all along.
So let's get back to Andrew. He was looking in another place. What does it mean? He was trying to achieve something. He was trying to be someone. He was trying to be perfect and idealized himself. And that was the wrong way to look for approval because he was seeking for an approval that is internal. So he had to face his fear of not to be approved by his father and to let go that need to be approved by his father and to start approving himself. So that's where you change direction. You stop looking outwards and you start looking inwards.
Yeah, like the character of Bill Murray in Groundhog Day when he gives up on idea to pick up his colleague by cheap
Yeah, it was funny
tricks.
though.
I love this movie. Instead, he focuses on improving his personality, become better,
Better man, better person.
better man, better person. He started to fill up the room, and everybody loved him. And by changing himself, he changed the reality he lives in.
Yeah, and I think he even didn't expect her to be with him anymore. So he
Yeah.
gave up on that idea completely. So let's talk about how to release subconscious hooks. And there are a lot of techniques, a lot of tools, and one of them, a very simple technique that I want to guide you through. So this is like a kind of an exercise. You need to close your eyes and you need to, of course, be in a safe place, not driving a car. And it's super easy. So don't think that if it's easy, it doesn't work. It's also a limiting belief, by the way. So imagine that you're holding a box in your hands, and in this box is your past. All the emotions and beliefs that are weighing you down. So you're sitting there, being comfortable, breathing deeply, and you start to ask yourself a question: what feels heaviest? And the most important thing is not to force the answer, but to wait for the answer to just pop up on the surface. And you don't need to do anything for that. You just need to relax, and it will happen by itself. You need to identify that hook, and then you need to visualize it dissolving into light and being replaced by a feeling of freedom. And the trick here is to really name that hook. Like for Andrew, it was that limiting belief that he said out loud, that I need to be perfect in order to be even noticed, not loved, but just noticed. So when you name that belief out loud, and then you do all that visualization when you just dissolve it into the light and replace it with something that feels empowering. And then just hold on to that feeling and stay in that state for 5, 10 minutes, how you feel is necessary. And then just go back to this video.
It's like a change in the camera angle. You see the scene differently, and suddenly it doesn't feel so overwhelming. Like you shift from the wide angle, which you see right now, to the close-up, which you see here, or you change from extreme close-up to a wide angle. And remember, this is just a part of your life's movie, not the whole story. Stop treating your life like a scene or like a frame. It's a whole movie where you are director, not an actor, not even screenwriter. You are director, so you can twist it around the way you see it.
So your power lies in your ability to rewrite the script. And remember, your past is not a sentence. It's a resource for creating a new story. Okay, is there one trauma that defines our entire life?
Yeah, I guess not only one, we have like hundreds of traumas, but yeah, one trauma can really change your life because it changes your beliefs, and starting from there, it changes your life.
Okay, I just want to add that sometimes we think that that traumatic event, it's like something that happened out of nowhere. But like in an example with Andrew, he had a father who didn't appreciate him, didn't show love, and didn't show any kindness towards him. He was very strict and tough and so on. And Andrew had that emotional environment all of the time. And in his life, there was an episode when he was performing and his father didn't show up because he thought it's something like childish and not important. And that event was very traumatic. And we went back to that event with my client several times because there was so many emotional triggers there. But it was not this event that traumatized him. The whole attitude before that was traumatic. So what I mean by that the trauma itself, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It has some precursors, something that made you experience the event as a traumatic one. So that's my point. Of course, there are some situations like war, and that can be traumatic by itself, and it can just like move your life into an opposite direction from where it was going. But if we are talking about some kind of a more, like more traumas that happen in our childhood, they always have some precursors before they actually appear.
Can anyone truly change, or there are people who stuck forever?
No, there are no people who stuck forever. They just create the experience of stuckness for themselves. They tell themselves that they cannot change because it is convenient for them. For example, people in Soviet Union, elderly women, they talk to their daughters like, okay, you cannot change me. So they just try to manipulate their daughters to change themselves because they don't want to change. So this experience is coming from that wish not to change themselves in order to control others and to make them to change. So that's one example. Or everybody can change if they want to, but if they don't want, they can convince themselves that they don't, and they can really believe in that. What's harder, letting go of the past or accepting it?
Defining two words, what's the difference between letting go and accept?
A lot of people think that letting go is just to saying screw it, like just like screw my past, I don't care about it, I will live my life not defining myself by my past. Not like working on it, but just like saying, okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like that character in the TV show Defending Jacob, which I strongly recommend to watch. He had a traumatic experience in his childhood, but he decided that that not defines me as a person, and it will not influence my life. Which the person he was absolutely opposite to that experience that he had. So. Yeah, he just made this commitment. It's not a part of me.
Yeah, but I think that it was not like accepting the past. It was like saying screw it. But it's not an integration. He felt traumatized, but he like chose not to show it to people because he even hid them from his wife. He didn't tell her that had happened to him in his childhood, and that was kind of a not nice because she was in love with someone she didn't know to the core. So I would like to say that accepting the past and knowing that it had happened and knowing that it traumatized you and then working from that, it can bring you to actually letting go of the past. By letting go, I mean not saying screw it, but I mean to know that it is your past, but it's not defining you anymore because there is no emotional charge there.
But anyway, don't forget to share with your partners of all aspects of your previous life because that will help them understand who you are.
Yeah, and love is based on understanding. If you don't understand something, you cannot truly love it.
What's the biggest lie people believe about themselves?
That they not worth something. You just can fill in the blank. That, like, that feeling of not worthiness, it always comes from childhood and some kind of experience. None baby is born with that feeling. Every newborn knows that they are valuable, they are worthy, they are amazing, and so on and so forth. And some events that happen in our childhood that make us think that we are not worthy, they are actually making us believe in the lie. So that's the biggest lie. I think everybody's infected by that lie. That's why I do what I do. Okay, this is very intimate. Have you ever been afraid to face your own subconscious mind?
Oh shit, yes. Sometimes when you're just about to enter that segment, when your conscious just sits on the bench and you're about to talk to your subconscious, sometimes it can be terrifying. But once you're there, you just let it go, and it's always a discovery of something about yourself. And when you come back, you're like, oh wow, I I lived with that and never knew that.
I also think that limiting beliefs they work in that way that when you are on edge of letting them go, they try to penetrate into you so much that they create that fear. But actually, it's an illusion. I don't think that this fear is real because you start to even explain yourself that, oh, I could live with this. Why did I go there? Why did I start that healing process? I could just continue pretending. But it's not you. It's those limiting beliefs that say that you need to stuck to something that is familiar. They are dictating that to you in your head, and you really need to recognize that it's absolutely false and you need to continue your journey. And that's where you will feel that, okay, now I can truly be me.
It's like swimming in stormy ocean, fighting with the waves instead of just surf them.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us in this first episode. And if you find it valuable, share it with someone who is also ready for change. And don't forget to write a comment, like this video, and
See you in the next episode.
yeah, and subscribe.